Hello everybody, what's going on? Nerd of the 90s here, and now let's go for the next chapter of Phase 3. My shirt right here, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. My most anticipated movie of 2017, and I was actually looking forward to this. I did watch this with a few friends of mine. If you guys do remember Emmanuel from Age of Ultron, he joined me, and then another friend of mine joined me to watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Sorry I couldn't bring them here. I just came back from doing a few things with my mother and other things. But anyways, let's start off to the chase and start with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, and Kurt Russell. And of course, Michael Rooker, who plays Yondu. But we'll get to him soon in a bit. Let's first start off with the story. We get to see a small flashback of Peter Quill's mother and Peter Quill's, not Peter Quill's father. Well, we do get a hint of his father, and we get to see that them being together in the late 1970s, I would say, and after that they go on traveling, and we get to see, how Peter Quill's father and mother meet for the first time, and when Peter Quill was made. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we get to see what happens after the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It's exactly months later after Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It takes place back in 2014. We get to see the Guardians are now pretty much just guns for hire, saving planets from other places, from creatures and everything like that. They take down this giant monster thing, and I don't know what the name of it is, but they managed to take it down. And yeah, it was a really cool opening, and I do loved it. Even though after the Guardians of the Galaxy managed to at least help the Sovereign out, Rocket Raccoon steals something from them, and the Sovereign gives chase to the Guardians of the Galaxy. But the Guardians of the Galaxy managed to escape, but with the help of someone, by the help of Ego, Peter Quill's father. And we get to see the backstory of pretty much Peter Quill's father and who he actually is. Well, a little bit of it, but we get to finally meet for the first time Peter Quill's father, which is completely different from the comics, but at least they managed to do this. So with that, the Guardians of the Galaxy are pretty much on the run by the Sovereign, and also on the run by also the Ravagers of what they actually did in the very end of Guardians 1, giving them one of the fake Infinity Stones to Yondu, even though Yondu kind of lets it slide. And with that, Yondu pretty much gets advice from the Sovereign and wants to at least turn in the Guardians to the Sovereign. And with that, well, they want to give that chase. And yeah, sometimes the movie can split into halves. Peter Quill and Gamora and Drax go with Ego, meet Mantis, and they go and meet the planet for the first time. While Rocket, Baby Groot, and Nebula, who we get to see in the very end, who rewards the Guardians of the Galaxy, not money, but Nebula. And then that what goes forward with the story. And yeah, it goes and splits in half. And yeah, I'll get to that soon enough later. To me, let's start off first with Peter Quill, Star-Lord. He does a fantastic job. I love his jokes. I think it's amazing. And yeah, it would be cool if you would join the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite roster. And that sucks. I really wanted him to be there, but I'm just disappointed that he's not in it. But anyways, best job like always, and then seeing him meeting his father for the first time was actually quite the highlight, because I really want to see that in the upcoming sequel, and we do get that. And we'll get to him soon. That gets a plus, and same thing with the story, I never forgot to say that. Zoe Saldana as Gamora, and also I'm going to put in also Karen Gillan's character, Nebula. Zoe Saldana, of course, does a fantastic job portraying Peter Quill's love interest, even though we kind of don't see them quite together, but the relationship's a bit complicated. Zoe Saldana as Gamora, she does a fantastic job. As for Karen Gillan's character, Nebula, she also does a fantastic job. Even though we get to see, for the first time, Gamora and Nebula being sisters, and even though we get to see them hate each other, beat the crap out of each other, and you see it in the movie, in the trailers, that they fight against each other, and yeah, it's quite a touching moment, and it kind of like shows how sometimes you fight against each other, but in the end, you're each other's blood, and you gotta relate to each other, because both of them who are related to Thanos, and they have a dark history with Thanos, and yeah, we kind of get to hear that Thanos is a monster, even though we never get to see him. But anyways, Gamora and Nebula, fantastic job. Gets a plus. Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer. Actually, people didn't like him much in the first movie. I did. I enjoyed him. But in this one, my God, I loved him. He's hilarious. I thought his jokes was funny. Man, oh man, I thought he stole the show for me, in my opinion, right next to Baby Groot and Rocket Raccoon, which we'll get to soon. Also, Mantis, played by Palm Clementov, I think I pronounced her name right. If I did, I liked her. I really, really did. And as the new member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought she does a fantastic job, even though her powers are actually really cool, and she was actually the only weakness to Ego, which we'll get to him soon in a bit. That gets a plus. For Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon and Vin Diesel as Baby Groot, which I thought, okay. But at least they kind of squeaked his voice a bit. I absolutely love Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. I loved his voice. I was looking forward to him voicing him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I thought he does a very fantastic job. And we'll get to see a little bit of why Rocket Raccoon is such an a-hole. And yeah, we get to know a little bit more of his backstory a little bit, but not so much. But anyways, he does a fantastic job. Vin Diesel as Baby Groot, my God, he's so adorable. But I don't have a toy, even though I got Spider-Man right on top with Venom. We'll get to that soon enough in the next video. But anyways, I loved them. They were great. That gets a plus. Yondu Uganta, and I'll put him in too. Kraglin, his friend. Michael Rooker manages to get more screen time in this movie, and we finally get to learn that not only does he care about Peter Quill, but he's kind of like the father figure to Peter Quill. And I thought, to me, in my opinion, he does a fantastic job. And I gotta say, he does get the screen time justice he deserved, because in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 he does get screen time, but it was a bit small, but not too much. But at least it was good. It was good enough to see him appear in the movie. But in this one, with more screen time, he does a fantastic job. As for his friend Kraglin, James Gunn's brother, I think it's Sean Gunn. I see if I pronounce your name right. I think it is Sean Gunn. I liked him a lot, and he does get more screen time, and I thought he was very funny too, being Yondu Uganta's best friend. And yeah, that gets a plus for that. As for, well, it's been a year already, almost a year since the movie came out. The villains. Taserface. Oh, man. I got his name for a villain, man. Taserface. Hilarious. The actor does a fantastic job. He gets a plus on that. But I'm going to get to the next one. Aisha and the Sovereign. People didn't like her, but I actually kind of did, even though she's the Sovereign's a bit sensitive for stealing some freaking light bulbs. Come on, like really, just for light bulbs? But yeah, I thought Aisha was actually kind of a great villain, trying to take down the Guardians of the Galaxy for taking away some light bulbs. But to me, I was like, okay. But what saves it was, everybody has seen it already, so I'm going to have to say this here. Ego the Living Planet, played by Kurt Russell. Whoa, that twist, though. That twist and his motivation of using Peter Quill as to help them out to at least take over their planets and make them their own. And yeah, he was actually a what is it called? A celestial god. And man, oh man, to me he was like the most powerful villain I ever met, and it's definitely one of my top 5 villains in the MCU universe. And I gotta say, Kurt Russell as the Ego the Living Planet gets a plus, and same thing for the other villains. Taserface. As for the visuals, CGI, soundtrack, and if I can read it here, well, I'll get to that soon enough. The visuals itself, wow, absolutely amazing. James Gunn and the rest of the creative team does an absolute fantastic job of showing how beautiful the galaxy is, including Ego the Planet's planet too. Wow, absolutely amazing. And I didn't watch this in 3D, but man, I really wanted to be there so badly. But yeah, at least there's a theme park right at the Hollywood Tower of Terror, which no longer used to be, but now it's the Guardians one, which I will check out soon enough, but maybe soon. The visuals were amazing, and the soundtrack, oh my God, the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. I do want to reference the songs, but I don't want to get copyright claim. Absolutely amazing, especially the battle between Star-Lord and his father was absolutely cool. I love that song, absolutely amazing. And yeah, that gets a plus. As for the action itself, wow, I thought it was great. The beginning, the second part, and then yeah, it kind of gets a little bit overlooked a bit much while the others are somewhere at the other planet, and then Rocket and Raccoon kind of get more screen time, and Yondu too get more of the action. But then later on, at the very end, the action was absolutely fantastic, and I thought it was actually really cool, and that gets a plus with that. The cons. I could have wished. It kind of sucks that the Guardians have to split against each other. Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax had to go to Ego with this planet. Rocket, Baby Groot, and Nebula were somewhere else, but they get captured by Taserface and by the Ravagers. And yeah, they kind of get their own split kind of screen time. But at least to me, it was cool, but I would have loved to see them back to be each other after the very end. And then after that, I kind of let that one slide. But at the same time, I would have loved to see the Guardians all together. But at least that. And then also at times the comedy ruins a bit of it ruins a bit of the, like, for example, like the action. Like, okay, you're trying to be funny, but at the same time, okay, it kind of ruins the fun of it. But anyways, at least to me, the comedy was good, but it was just too damn much. And yeah, this is not the only movie that does it. There's more of it that continues with the MCU of Phase 3. But anyways, I did give this movie a 10 out of 10 at release, but to me I had to go it down because I could have wished to see the Guardians all together, and then also the comedy kept on going where it doesn't take itself seriously. But to me, I have to take it down to a 10 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. It is a superb movie, and it does get a yes seal of approval, and it's definitely a must own and a must buy. But even though I love Guardians 2 so much, but to me, I think 1 is more superior than this one, even though I love this one a lot. But if it weren't for the cons, that's that. Well, anyways, guys, that ends the video. I'll see you guys next time with Spider-Man Homecoming. And yeah, I gotta change my shirt too, so be on the lookout for that because that's why I have my toys up there. I had them since wow, pretty much a long time. So hope you guys see you on the next one.